Hello everyone, this is Saurami here from India. First of all, I would like to thank my professors, Rosalia Rodriguez and Lorna Kiamba from the University of Nottingham for helping me do this. An investigation of the luminous environment in the Nottingham house, the effect of shading devices on a building with change of use. The main aim of the paper was to review the luminous environment of the house and compare the findings to its design targets, and also learn and identify if there are any daylight problems and propose solutions to be seen. House, which stands for the Home Optimizing the Use of Solar Energy, was designed as a starter home for a competition and it functions as an office currently. Interestingly, the designers had the task of making it perform to the climatic requirements of both Madrid and Nottingham. The fact that the house is an environmentally efficient building with the passive house on the 8th floor of Sustainable Homes Level 6 standards, the transformed usage of the house from a home to an office building spurred the purpose of exploring the luminous environment. The daylight has more benefits over the artificial lighting in working spaces. However, there could be potential drawbacks of daylighting like glare or overheating as well. Given that many are now working from home for an indefinite period of time due to COVID-19 pandemic, there's a need to examine the potential impacts on such shifts on user comfort and corresponding task lighting requirements. Moving on to the research methodology, the paper was divided into two parts. The first part focused on the assessment of the daylight performance and identify any issues and drawbacks. From the visual, comfort data collection and analysis, potential drawbacks such as glare was identified and further discussed and appropriate solutions were devised. For the daylight assessment, the house was divided into three zones. The ground floor, being an open office, was considered as Zone 1, with four workstations at the southern end, and the first floor was divided into Zone 2 and 3, which were single occupant offices. The main intent was to check the performance of the daylight on the workstation links, for which the daylight metrics, rule of thumb, daylight factor, uniformity ratio, useful daylight illumination were all investigated using the ISVA software throughout the year with the following simulation criteria. A set of on-site level measurements were taken as per following criteria with variations in interior blind openings. They were recorded at the workbench height and at different times of the day. It is observed that daylight factor in all the three zones satisfy the average requirement of 5%. However, the uniformity ratios infer that the zone 1 is not uniformly lit compared to the other zones because of its longer blind depth. An in-depth climate-based daylight illumination of all the zones were analyzed. The UDI ranging of 300 to 2500 lux, which is sufficient for the natural daylight illumination for the office task work, is satisfied in all the zones in the workstation areas for about 62 to 89% throughout the year. During the summer season, it was observed that the on-site multimeter measurements that there's a high UDI on the workstations in the zone 1 and 2 during the noon on clear sky days. This indicates that there could be a phenomenon of glare causing discomfort in the indoor visual factors. Also, from the feedbacks of the occupants' interviews, suggested that the experiential problems such as glare during the clear sky days due to the reflective properties of the external aluminum blinds were experienced. To analyze the effect of the disability glare due to the external shading device, Zone 2 was chosen for further findings. There is no measure of threshold for glare to state if it is high or low because it depends on the person's perseverance. However, the glare metrics such as the contrast ratios and the DGP, which is the daylight glare probability, would give an insight on intensity and the discomfort caused by the glare. The contrast ratio, which is the task illuminates to the immediate surroundings to the non-adjacent surroundings, should be within the ratio of 1 is to 3 is to 10. Higher contrast ratios infer that there could be a glare, and it could be also a discomfort glare if it is more than 0.35 dgp. The dgp was acquired from the HDR mapping from the Luminous mapping curve. To understand the reflective properties of the shading device, the next set of analysis focused on the altering the shading device's material properties and the distance at which it could be placed. These are the three cases. It is also inferred that the matte finish shading device simulations reveal a lower DGP and contrast ratios comparatively. However, it is also observed that the farther the shading device from the build structure, lesser was the DGP. Conclusions. It is understood that the house satisfied the daylight requirements. However, there is a visual comfort glare experienced indoors due to the reflective properties of the external aluminum blinds. The glare can be avoided by changing the material finish to a matte finish or the brush finish, and also by relocating the shading device further outwards. The main takeaways here are: it is important to evaluate the indoor comfort conditions when there's a change in building use, and also conduct a post-occupancy evaluation to identify and rectify the potential problems caused by the facade elements such as the windows, shading device, and other construction elements. Thank you. Good day.